What's up guys, Matt back again with another unboxing video, and today we're going to be reviewing the Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito from Ichiban Kuji, Super Dragon Ball Heroes.
Before we dive into the video, please remember to subscribe and hit the bell, like the video, comment your thoughts down below for us to discuss, follow me on my socials, and consider becoming a YouTube member to enter into our monthly giveaways and Discord server so our community can help you on your Dragon Ball figure collecting journey.
This figure is based on Xeno Vegito from the Super Dragon Ball Heroes card game. The figure is based on Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito from one of his Super Dragon Ball Heroes cards. It's even featured on the box. This figure sells for an average price of $57 US on the market. If you're interested in buying this figure for cheap, then use my discount code Peaches24 at bashmancollectibles.com to get 10% off of your first order and 5% off of every future order afterwards. This figure was released on July 26, 2019, along with the rest of the Ichiban Kuji set. The Ichiban Kuji set consists of Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Vegito, UI Goku, Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan Vegito, Mask Saiyan, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and the last one prize Super Saiyan 4 Xeno Gogeta. Vegito stands at about 10.5 inches tall, weighs 1 pound 15.6 ounces in box, weighs 1 pound 4.6 ounces on his own, and the figure comes whole with his tail and support. Alright, we're back again with another Ichiban Kuji from the Super Dragon Ball Heroes series, specifically the very first Super Dragon Ball Heroes series. I recently did a review on Vegito, the blue Vegito in this set, but this was our very first Masterlise of Super Saiyan 4 Vegito, and I have seen a lot of people say great things about it, actually. I used to own this one myself before I sold off my collection, and I finally have, of course, recollected him. But let's go ahead and start talking about him and see if my opinion matches what I've seen in some of the community conversations surrounding this figure. So, as a character choice, I think it is a super cool concept. This is what Super Dragon Ball Heroes should be all about. These what-if characters, these very cool ideas, like what if Vegito went Super Saiyan 4? Gogeta did it, why not Vegito? And I think that idea is super cool. I love Vegito. I'm more of a Gogeta guy, but I love Vegito, and if I'm being honest, I prefer Super Saiyan 4 Vegito over Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. I think the red hair just kind of throws me off a little bit. But the concept is super cool, like I said. It's a great idea to add a character like this into Super Dragon Ball Heroes, where you might not see him in regular Dragon Ball Ichiban Kuji. So, as a character choice, I think it's a 5 out of 5. It's super cool. You see him a lot in the card game. You see him a lot in the promotional anime. This is a great option for Super Dragon Ball Heroes. His likeness, though, this is where I'm kind of like, see, so from one angle, like when you're looking at him where his eyes are basically glancing at you, he looks pretty okay. There's definitely something not quite right. I think it's maybe the size of his forehead, and his jaw and chin are extremely weak. From the side, he also looks kind of okay, but the more you look at it and the more you look at it from different angles, it doesn't quite look like Vegito. Like, just something's very off. Something's very goofy with his face. It's not awful. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. But it is kind of weird when you look at it. It's serviceable, right? Like I can be okay with this sitting on my shelf, which it is. I'm not like ashamed of it. You know, I don't know how else to say it. I think it's fine. It's nothing incredible. So I think his likeness is a 3 out of 5. Could have used a little more work, so a little bit more cooking in the kitchen. Not, you know, like the Limit Breaker Super Saiyan 4 Vegito. His face looks incredible. This one, you know, not quite right. So it is what it is. Sculpt quality, though, is very good. I really like the way that they made his hair. Obviously, you get those very cool details with Super Saiyan 4 because you can feel the texture of his fur all around his torso and his arms, even on his tail, which is very cool. The ripples of his cloak also look very good. His belt was done very well as well. And all the details on his pants looks very cool. And I think the pose is kind of unique for Vegito. You know, he has his hand up. He looks kind of menacing in the way that they made him. And hey, I think this was around the time where they started to do more of these clear supports for their foot. So that's cool. His tail obviously can be a little bit of a nuisance to put on, but just make sure it's nice and tight on there. But yeah, I like the details of this thing. You can see his Patara earrings have a little bit of TLC done in there, just so that they look like they're actually attached to his ears. Yeah, lots of good details here. Boots look good. You can even see like the ripples of his boots are like tightened up. So I like that a lot. I think the sculpt quality is great. It's a 5 out of 5 in my opinion. I have no qualms with that at all. Paint and shading also very good. Most of the shading is noticeable on his pants. Lots of blacks mixed into the reds of his pants. So it is something that pops out at you when looking at paint and shading. But he does have some shading on his skin for his torso, which is nice. You can even see some on his face very subtly. I don't think there's shading anywhere else. Maybe some slight shading on his gloves and boots. Or I can't tell if that's just the lighting or the actual figure itself. So I'll let the comments section be the judge of that this time. And of course, I like the colors. You know, Vegito gets like a little bit of a brownish hair, almost like they do with Vegeta sometimes. It's so inconsistent. Vegeta's hair is black. A Saiyan's hair is supposed to be black. We know that. But they always give it like a brownish tint sometimes, especially with Vegito. But it looks cool. I like it, and it really contrasts well with his brown fur, kind of how like Super Saiyan 4 usually should contrast really, really well. So I do like that a lot. I really like the paint and finish on this thing, so I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. Size and scale, very good. He's actually quite tall. He will scale very well with your figures. I think I don't remember off the top of my head how he scales with other Super Saiyan 4 figures. He actually might be a little shorter, maybe not. No. He's about the same height, I believe. But yeah, size and scale is very good. 10.5 inches is extremely respectable for an Ichiban Kuji figure. He's almost a foot tall, so you're gonna have no issue in posing him up on your shelf. He scales really well with other figures, especially within this Ichiban Kuji set. I kind of like how they all look together, even though some of them are pretty derpy. but I like it. So I'm gonna give his size and scale a 5 out of 5. But yeah, returning to this figure, I don't know if a lot of people know about it. I'm pretty sure this had an Ichibancho release. So I like it a lot. His face is just kind of weird, but I think that kind of adds to the charm of the figure. I really liked him when I had him back in the day. I don't like him as much as I used to, but I still like him. Masterlise is always going to have a special place in my heart. So I'm going to walk away. I'm going to give this figure a 4 out of 5.
Thank you all again for watching today's video. But before we move on to the upcoming giveaways this month, I'd like to mention my new merch that's launched. We've got shirts, hoodies, mugs, and more. If you want to support me a bit further and rock some of the merch on the channel, please check out the shop tab on my channel.
But until the next video, guys, I will see you all later.